What is a country, state, or nation? The terms are related, but they don't all mean the same thing. Countries and states have a very similar definition and are generally used interchangeably. The Oxford Dictionary defines a country as a nation with its own government occupying a particular territory. It defines states as a nation or territory considered as an organized political community. Its definition for a nation is different: a large body of people united by common descent, history, culture, or language, inhabiting a particular country or territory. While these definitions seem pretty straightforward, there are actually some issues with defining what counts as a country, what counts as a state, and what counts as a nation. One question that at first seems easy to answer is, how many countries are there? A quick Google search will tell you 195. This number includes all of the 193 United Nations member states, plus the Vatican and the State of Palestine, which are both non-member observer states of the UN. But what about Taiwan, also known as the Republic of China? Is that not a country? It's a territory in the South China Sea that has its own political community and is completely sovereign. Well, the United Nations doesn't consider it a country. It considers it part of the People's Republic of China. Even if the UN doesn't consider it a country, there are still 15 other countries that do. There are other places that the UN doesn't recognize as a country that are still recognized by some of its members. The Republic of Kosovo is recognized by 98 other countries and is known for its territorial dispute with the Republic of Serbia. There are many more than just these two recognition issues. Many countries do not recognize the State of Palestine or the State of Israel, even though Israel is in the United Nations. There is also the question of rebellious provinces. Places like Transnistria, Western Sahara, Donbass, and many places in the Caucasus region have active separatist movements and rebellious provinces. Transnistria has had de facto independence for many years. Neither Morocco nor the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic has sovereignty over Western Sahara, according to the UN. The Donetsk People's Republic and the Luhansk People's Republic are in control of part of eastern Ukraine, and there are more than enough rebels in the Caucasus region. There is also territory controlled by terrorist groups, although many people, groups, and countries have different definitions of terrorists. The two most notable terrorist groups are the Taliban, which currently controls parts of Afghanistan, and the Islamic State, which had control over parts of Syria and Iraq. It gets even weirder when you bring up the term nation-state. Oxford defines this as a sovereign state whose citizens or subjects are relatively homogeneous in factors such as language or common descent. Some examples of countries that are also nation-states are Japan, Germany, and France. But at what level? Is Germany 100% German? At what point would it no longer be considered a nation-state? What about France? Is France just French? All of these places are united by a common language, culture, and history, but they still remain diverse. What level of diversity makes a country no longer a nation-state? Belgium, for example, has two nations within it, the Dutch-speaking Flemish and the French-speaking Walloons. Is that a nation-state or two nations within a state? Some consider the United States a nation-state because of its common ideas and beliefs, but that doesn't fit exactly with the definition of a nation-state. There are obviously other definitions of a nation-state, but my point is that it is up to the country and people to define what makes them a united nation. Are they united by language, culture, common history, or ideals? Or are they a confederation of nations brought together for some reason or another? Countries, states, and nations are confusing terms, but they serve a purpose, and trying to understand them helps with understanding the world we live in.